making light diffuser boxes for my film crew, which is me. 16 by 16s. I'm making 4 of them. My brother-in-law brought a bunch of scrap lumber home. He works for a company, a construction company, so he gets all kinds of sheet metal. It's nice. Yeah, got a few things built today. Let's see, where'd that? The JW, it's coming along. Burnished all the edges. That cell phone cover, I think I got it somewhere. One second, let me step out of frame. Here we go. It was already tooled. This was another company's saddlebag leather, and they sell just a veg tan iPhone case. You know, they didn't burnish none of the edges. They didn't treat none of it. And when it was cased, it was just overworked once I got halfway through it. So it was a speedy thing. It wouldn't take, but I forced the blade. Did I don't know, my kind of a feather basket weave. I don't know if you can zoom in on that or not. I should have the sun right there. Yeah, getting closer and closer. Next thing we'll do tomorrow will probably be, my sister has some chairs we're going to upholster, so we'll probably break those down. Her daughter, my niece, give them to her. They were a high dollar chairs, but she was going to throw them out. My mother wouldn't let her throw that out. My sister inherited that gene, and she brought them home thinking she was going to clean the upholstery. That's what she does, clean houses for a living. And as soon as she sprayed some carpet cleaner on them things, they smelled to high heaven. I knew exactly what it was. It was single mom. It was Infamil or milk. I've smelled many a back seat of cars smelling just like that. Ugh. So I told her, she's like, I'm throwing them onto the curb. I said, well, you know, I got all kinds of leather. Let's go ahead and strip them down and fix them. Here's one of the backs right here. But it'll be the old stoned old, I'm thinking. I can't decide which one. I'm thinking I'm liking this one better. Or I might do a half and half and do a split. Do like a natural hide, a natural cut, let it just flow natural straight down 45 from corner to corner. And then tuck and wrap the buttons, maybe do a diamond pattern, or I don't know, we'll see. There's all kinds of things you can do with them. It's real easy. Actually, I set a high end, but feeling the weight of this thing, it sounds like it might be from overseas, I'm sure. We'll know once we get into it where it came from, just by looking at the work. Some people like going fast and making that money. Me, if I'm going to make something by hand, every corner, every nail, every rivet, every stitch is going to be hand done. It's going to be craft made. That's why my leather, when you purchase something from me, none of it is machined. You're not going to bust a thread and, you know, have your hind end come out of your bikini bottoms or your shorts or your shoes, if your hiking gear, all my climbing shoes, all my iron working gear, any saddle work, any tack, I'll guarantee it. And if it does bust a stitch, and you lose a race, you fall off the mountain, I'll come get it. You'll come bring it to me, and I'll fix it for free. But that's kind of my personality in life. If I didn't know how to do it, I found a way to do it. If there wasn't a way, we'd make a way. Forget what that Latin phrase is, that old Roman general. NT Venum. I don't know, I'll look it up tonight, because that's who I am. But yeah, we're getting closer to starting the show. I hope once it does go online, everybody signs up and let's learn the old ways. Let's keep it going, because this leather work, there's all kinds of stuff out there that's dying off. Nobody's doing it. These young kids aren't doing it. And I have no kids myself, so I need someone to give it to, and why not YouTube? I was kind of weirded out of the whole YouTube concept at first. I mean, I didn't get a smartphone. I was one of the last in lines. I was off grid. Old Uncle Bubba. Not because I was trying to stay away from anybody, just I didn't want to get on Facebook and all these things for coming out. I was working for the schools. I was just too busy. And anyways, I liked my flip phones. That old construction DeWalt. I carried the crud out of it. And my first actual smartphone was the Windows Beta. I think I still got it over here. I use it for my camera angles and looking at my Wi-Fi night cameras. But once I did go online and figure out, hey man, it's not a bad deal. I can remind myself. Got me an assistant. I can pretty much stay to myself as much as I want now. The sun's going down here in the Rio. I'm glad to be back. We're gonna search the town, revisit some old friends, some young friends. Maybe get out on the river. I got a friend of mine, he likes to bow hunt. He says he's got a little bit of leather work he's wanting done. I got a friend of my brother-in-law's and my sister's. He's got a motorcycle and it's some old hot rod. It's a Ford. It's an old Ford pickup truck, but he's wanting the bench seat. He's wanting it tooled the old Sheridan style, and I can't recall ever seeing anybody doing that, because an area that big, just that one bench alone is probably going to have anywhere from 20 patterns, pieces. So you get your register lines and all these things that you got to keep. I mean, those are really important, you know, for a good nice fit. And veg tan is just too unpredictable. You might tool something, you know, on the shoulder and get 8 inches across, and it's a totally different ball game. You might really have to work it, case it again, you know, do some kind of extra just to get it to work. So I'm thinking, as soon as he mentioned that, I didn't want to break his heart right off the bat and tell him I couldn't do it, because I never say I can't do nothing. I'll try it at least, uh, you know, and try to do it cost effective. And but I do good work when I have good materials and good tools. And you know, good work ain't cheap. Cheap work ain't good. So live by that philosophy. You might look through my prize and might see a pair of my moccasins that you're, well, I can go on this or so and so. I can get these on Etsy. Yes, you probably could, but I guarantee you they're not going to be double stitched. You know, they're not going to be specifically fitted to your foot. They're not going to have an insole that's matching your foot when you come and you get my moccasins, unless you just don't want to come to here and get measured. I'm telling you, I'll do the old school. There's an old man in between here and I think San Antonio, or here in Houston. I don't know if he's still alive or not. He makes boots, and he'll make boots that cost you an arm and a leg, but they will last you a lifetime and feel like your first pair of house slippers. Rugged, tough, and he makes sure that he gets your arch the way it is, your bunions. And that's what I do. I'll ink your foot. You'll step on my glass pads. I'll have your foot imprint. I'll know how to build it up where and here or there. I've got some, you know, scooter friends of mine. I run with everybody. So if you ain't like that, this probably ain't the channel for you. Scooter trash, old field trash, rodeo bums, cowboys, hip hoppers, you name it. The barrio, you sabe mucho español. I'm from Texas. Uh, man's gonna work. He works hard for his money. I have no problem being that man's friend. Or getting his back. But I digress. The work I do, like I said, it's gonna be custom fit. Uh, the scooter guy, big dude, big dude. He's like 4 of me, and I noticed he was wearing a pair of moccasins. I was like, you can't ride that bike in the moccasins. He says, well, I don't do long tours. I said, well, get you some steel toes. Like a light bulb, it went off on me. I wanted to make him a pair of steel-toed moccasins. Well, I didn't have my forge made yet, and I still haven't got it made yet. That's going to be one of our shows. We're going to make us a little honey hole, and because I make tools. If I don't have the tool, I'm going to make it. The very first leather product I made when I came back from Colorado, it's another story. I needed a wallet. I'd lost it, and had no tools. When I was young, I had the Lucky 7, and I was a Boy Scout. So, as an iron worker in the field, if you didn't have a wrench that fit that bolt, that nut, you made it. And it so happens I got in roomies with an old man named Ricky Butler from Tennessee. Everybody thought he was crazy. Even I did. Old Crocodile Dundee taught me not to sleep in the motel bed either. He slept in a sleeping bag on the floor. Every job we ever did, he took steel off of it and made a knife out of that building, that high rise, that whatever it was. He had over 1,300 and something knives. Made a knife for me too out of African cherry handle. It's beautiful. Somebody stole it from me. But I learned my metallurgy from him and just kind of progressed from there. So I dabble in just about everything that you see on YouTube. That's why I feel like it was just made for me. Once I discovered the DIY shows and people doing their leather work, their tooling, their different styles of things. It's such a wonderful thing to see because as I was growing up, my phrase was always, I'm a style stealer. If say I go out and we get on the same crew and I look over and I see that you're 10 times faster than me, more safer than me, and your product is superior to mine, then tomorrow when I come back, that style is going to be my style. And I have no problems of telling you this. I have no problems telling anybody that. When I was growing up, we had the old bosses, and my granddad, my dad, they were in the old 1950s style. There's my way or the highway. Well, I don't go for that. I've had many of bosses, and in Monday meetings, everybody tells me, you can't talk to the boss like that. I can if he's wrong. Because the ship we sail on, any man can sink it. From the potato pillar, the rigging boy, cabin boy, or the captain. The cutlass, or the guy who flies sail or sits in the top of the perch. Each one of us has a responsibility to the ship, the company. So we all make different wages, and we do because of the different skill sets. And that's why you don't talk about your wages. But if that boss is wrong and I see that it's potentially going to lose him money, which is in turn going to lose me money, or take Joe Bob or Fred or whoever's working next to me, maybe not get to make that trip because we're tight, I'm going to say something. I've always been like that. My granddad taught me to be that way. I come from a step family, so I've had both sides of the fence. I've had big business. I've had, snuff, riding fence, farm all day, and I just feel proud to know that each one of those skill sets when I was young, like I said, I was like a sponge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge wins war. Knowledge is the key to all. Don't be afraid to be a know-it-all. Here comes the only thing that you're going to hate about my channel. Anyways, I will get long-winded, but my name's Ryan. I'm thinking about calling the show Rhino Hides, the Ronin Rhino, fine leathers and feathers. Don't know just yet. Maybe we'll put in a survey. After that,